Do you know how your customers are using AI? I had a small health problem recently, very, very minor, bit of back pain. I had a bit of a twinge in my back, and it seemed to go away during the day, but then the next morning it came back with slightly less pain. And after a few days, the pain was still there, even though it was reducing. So I made an appointment to see my physio. And at the same time, I also decided to ask ChatGPT for some advice or guidance. And I described my symptoms, and ChatGPT said, is there any other pain? Is it pain in your legs? Are you having headaches or anything else in your brain that's being affected? And I said, no. And then ChatGPT said, look, this is a very common problem. It will generally resolve itself in 7 to 10 days. Here are a couple of exercises that you can do. There's one called a cat-cow to bend your back, and another one called pelvic lifts, and you can just do them every day. And if the pain persists after a week or 10 days, go and see a physio. Well, I'd already made the appointment to see the physio, so I kept that appointment and I went to see her probably about 5 days after it happened. And she said to me, it's good that the pain is going down every day. She said, are you getting any pain in your legs, or is there anything neurological that might be affected? And I said, no. And she said, look, this is a really common thing. Probably in the next 2 or 3 days, in other words, 7 to 10 days after it's first started, it'll go away by itself. In the meantime, I'll give you a couple of exercises. There's one called camel cat to arch your back, and then there's another one which is called a pelvic lift. So ChatGPT gave me exactly the same advice as the physio did, and in both cases it was correct. The pain went away in exactly that time frame. So the point is, this is not about whether I should trust AI's advice or whether that's misguided. This is about the way that, from a physio's perspective, think about the way that her customers are using AI now, regardless of what she's doing in her practice to use AI for scheduling appointments and transcribing meetings and getting advice from AI to help with complex cases. All of those are things that I know physio practices can be doing now and are doing now. But regardless of all that, her customers are using AI differently. In my case, I just used it to get a little bit of advice to make sure it wasn't something major that I needed to get help with straight away. But also, people are using it in different ways. And the advice that the physio gave me was exactly the same as the advice that AI gave me. So does that mean that the next time I won't bother going to the physio, I'll just ask AI? Well, no, because I know that I don't trust AI especially with any sort of health advice, but pretty much with any advice that I don't have expertise in. So I will always use AI, but also talk to the relevant experts. But that's not true of everybody. And your customers might be using AI in different ways. For example, with this physio, another thing I could have done beforehand is to say, I'm now going to see a physio. Tell me the sort of questions that I should be asking her for her to help me best, or tell me the sort of things that I really need to make clear to her so that she can give me the best advice. Some people are using AI voice recorders on their phone to record the appointment with the physio, with permission, of course, and then they'll take it back and then feed that into AI to get a summary of the conversation, to look at the actions again, and to maybe better understand what the physio said. Some people are using it after the physio appointment to then get some after appointment feedback and advice. And some people may choose not to go to the physio at all, especially if the first time they went, the physio gave the same advice as ChatGPT, so they might say, well, I don't need to go to the physio next time. And I know I'm in the lucky position that I can make time to go to a physio, I can afford to go to a physio. Not everybody's in that position. So many people, many customers are now turning to AI for things that otherwise they would have gone to a real person, and they're not doing it because they don't trust the person. It just may be expensive or inconvenient or difficult or embarrassing. So many of your customers might be in the same position. So think about your team, your organization. Regardless of how you're using AI internally, think about how your customers are using AI. And this is using AI in their life, not only when they engage with you. But of course, the way they use AI in their everyday life does affect how they engage with you. So when you think about AI and the impact of AI on your business and your organization, it's not just about how you're going to use it internally. It needs to be part of your strategy. If you don't have an AI strategy, you don't have a business strategy. AI is so pervasive now and it's so widely used, sometimes not very well, but the reality is a lot of people are using AI, and that affects the way that they engage with you as well. If you'd like to know more about this, I'm running a free public online presentation very soon about things that leaders need to think about when it comes to AI in 2026 and beyond. And this is one of those things I'm talking about. It's not only what you're doing internally, but it's also the external environment, which very much involves your customers, your employees, and other people that you engage with. So come along, it's free, it's open to everybody. So register and feel free to share that with your team and your network as well. I'll see you in the future.